So what did I taught you people in the previous class? Does anyone remember? Hello? I hope I'm audible. Tell me if I'm not.
Some installing package like .env course and JSON web token.
Okay. Jyoti, what happened? In the previous class, you were asking a lot of questions. Now you are not being able to answer to my questions. Jyoti, are you there in the meeting? Okay, all right. So, in order to work with the backend, what things did I taught in the previous class? I was talking about the JWT token, etc. things, right? In order to work with the backend, we need certain packages to install. So the first package that I'm going to install is, at first I will go to my backend folder, and inside the backend folder, I'll write npm install express and then the nodemon. After that, I will also import the bcrypt. After that, I will install JSON. It should be bcrypt.js. Yeah. And then JSON web token. After that, I will also install .env. These are the things that I want right now in order to create the backend for the login and registration. Right. And here, if we go to our package.json, we are getting all these bcrypt.js, .env, express, JSON web token, and nodemon. Now, coming on to our why have I installed this .env? So here, a file is there with the name .env. And if I go to this file, then I can see 4 variables provided here. The Mongo URI, the JWT secret, Google Client ID, and Google Client secret. So as of now, you people can just skip this thing. And just focus.
These force.
Okay. All right. So these are the variables. So the MongoDB URI and the JWT secret. So here we have to provide our MongoDB URI. And then I have already told you people about the secret key that we require in the previous class. Why do we need the secret key?
Ma'am, for the password, I think so.
To store sensitive data.
Can you people repeat again?
To store
Ma'am,
sensitive
for
data.
Hold on, Jyoti. Not you. Who else
To
was speaking?
identify the token.
To uniquely identify the
To
system.
store sensitive data, you use secret key.
Not exactly to store the data, but
ma'am,
I
for the
used the word in the
for the passwords.
Okay, I mentioned a word in the previous class, that is virtual signaturing of tokens. You people remember
Yes, ma'am.
the word signature? That's why we use this JWT secret key. So here, in place of Mongo URI, I have to place my MongoDB URI. So here I can open any of the folders. Here should be the secret, not the, yeah. And then I will paste to the And the secret key can be anything. Right? Secret 1, 2, 3, 4 key. So this is my secret key, and then I will save it. After that, I will create a schema over here. So here I will go. Using which method do we create the schema? Come on, speak up. Using which method do we create the schema? I've taught you this in the previous classes also.
Mangoes.schema method.
So from the next time, I will give you people just 2 seconds to answer to the question, right? Or I can increase it up to 3 or 4 seconds. Inside that, you have to say the answer.
Okay, ma'am.
And then using the mongoose.schema, I'm going to create a schema and then I will store it in the variable. So I will declare the variable using const, and the name of the variable is user schema is equal to new mongoose.schema. Yeah. Inside this, I will provide different fields, just name, which is eventually a string, and then the email, which is having the type string, and emails should be unique. For that, I will put true value to the unique keyword, and then I will provide password. It is also going to be the string, and then I will also provide the Google ID. Just forget about this thing, because we need the Google client ID and Google secret for applying the Google authorization. And now what do I mean by the Google authorization? So did you people ever notice in some of the websites that instead of logging in manually, you can log in through, over there you are provided an option, login using Google. How many of you have seen that?
Yes, ma'am. I see.
All right. So how does that take place? In order to do that, we need a couple of libraries, that is passport and then the passport Google OAuth 20. So we will do that thing in the next class. But here we will just write the backend code for manually entering the email ID and password. And whenever we will log in using Google, then the Google ID also will get stored inside our MongoDB database. So this one is going to be string as well. So in the next class, be ready with your Google client ID and Google secret key. And the question arises, where to find the Google client ID and Google secret key? So what you have to do is, you have to go to the Google Cloud Console. Yeah, Google Cloud Platform. Yeah. And here you have to log in, and then in the menu bar, you will get APIs and services. Alright. So here in the API and services, what you have to do is go to the credentials, and then here you have to provide certain data that you need, that is OAuth 2.2 client IDs, or else you can also get the API keys. So here if you click on the OAuth 2.2 client ID, and here you have to click on the create credential, and here you have to click on OAuth client ID.
Ma'am, why we use it?
We use it in order to enable the feature of logging using Google. Right? Just see a video or a lecture in YouTube how to get your client ID using using this Google Cloud. And what you have to do is you just have to paste your Google Client ID and Google Client secret key in your .env file, just the way I will do, like I will show in the next class. And as of now, I'm creating the schema. And I have done creating the schema. And now what I will do, I will export it. Using what? How to export it?
Models dot export
Module.export.
And then what I have to write?
equal
Which
to
function?
user
Parameters.
mangoes dot
Mongoose dot model.
Model.
Inside this, I will declare this schema as
user
schema.
and user schema.
All right, all right. You can switch your mind off now. All right, now I will save this. After the schema, I will go to the controller. So inside the controllers folder, the main logic for your login and registration lies. Inside the controller, what I will need to do, I need to do the I have to import the bgrip.js. And why do we need that? We will get to know about it when we will write the code. So we will import it. After the bgrip.js, we also require the JSON web token. For that, I will write JWT is equal to require JSON web token. Right? After that, I will also. All right. So tell me one thing. If I'm writing the code for login and registration, what are the main things that I need, without which this whole functionality is not going to take place? While logging in, which two things you require?
Email ID and password.
email ID and password.
And
That's just
password.
one
Password.
secure password.
All right, the email ID and password. And where did I store these data? In which file?
In database.
In which file did I store these data? Here. Okay. In which file did I create the required fields through which the user will provide the data? In which file did I write?
Item.js.
User.js.
A user.js. So here I need to import that as well. Can you people please switch your mics off? Okay, so here I will import them. Here I will write models and then user. So I'm done importing all these things. Now I will create a function in order to register the user. Function to register the user. So I am writing exports dot register. So what is the use of writing this exports in the beginning of the function name? So whenever we write this exports dot register, what does it provide us? Whenever we are done writing the entire function, then we do not need to export it using module.exports. Just the way we have done over here. That is module.exports equal to this part. We do not need to do that over here in order to export a function when we mention the exports keyword followed by the dot and then the function name. And the register is going to be an asynchronous function. And it will take the request and response. Right? And inside this, I will place a try catch block. Inside the try block, I will take the data of the user. Which data I will take in during the registration? I will take the name, email ID, and password. So here I will provide const, and I will place those things inside the curly braces: name, email, and password. So just tell me, are these things, name, email, and password, the keywords or variable?
Variables.
Variables.
Great. All right.
Variable.
So these are my good. All right. So these are my variables inside which I am going to store what data?
request body.
Yeah, exactly. I will store all those data which will be provided by the user in these variables. So how is the user going to provide the data? The user will simply just, since we are not having the front end, in order to test this API, what we will need to do, we have to go to this standard client or any postman, and then we have to click on this body. So this is the body, and then we are sending the request, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That is why in the form of request, we are sending the data in the body, which is why what we have to do, we have to write request dot body. I guess we have done this while the CRUD operations, right? And then I'm making one more variable, that is exist. All right. So tell me one thing. When you try to register yourself in a website in which you have previously logged yourself, then what does it show to you?
Already have a account.
Exactly. It shows that you are already having an account in that website. So how does it do that? Okay. So tell me one thing. When we were performing the CRUD operations, what were we doing in order to read the data? Which method did we use over back then?
Get method.
Get me.
Get.
We used the get method, right? All right. That is the HTTP method. Now I'm asking about which particular function did we write? That is the built-in method of JavaScript in order to read the data.
Map.
We use those things, right? Like,
User find.
in, yeah, exactly. We use that user
Find by
find.
ID.
Yeah, find by ID. Similarly, when we are searching for something in the database, now how is that saying to you that the user is already existing? At first, the backend is reading the entire data which is present in the database, right? And if the email ID or name is already existing in that database, it is returning to you the message that the user is already existing for this website. So in order to find that data, here we are going to use a method. So since this function is an asynchronous function, I have to write a keyword. Can anyone guess which keyword do I have to write?
Await.
Await.
All right, await, and then followed by the name of the database, that is user, and here the method I will use is find one. And inside the find one, I will check if the email provided by the user as the request is already existing inside the database. And if it is already existing, then it will, if it is already existing, this is why I placed the condition if exist. Then the server will return us with a response, and that will provide us a status code of 400, which will provide a JSON message that someone of you has just said to me. This, it will provide us a message. You already have an account. Right? And then what if the user does not exist? If the user does not exist, what we have to do? All right.
Sign up.
We have to save this entire data in our MongoDB as a new data, right? So just tell me one thing. If you provide the password, like take your name and then followed by 1, 2, 3, right? Would that be safe enough?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, right? So what do we have to do in order to make it more secure? We have to hash the password, right? So here, what we have to do is, we will write a variable const hashed is equal to await, and then how to hash the password? We will hash the password using this bcrypt.js that we have just installed. So for that, I will write await and then bcrypt. Let's make it bcrypt only. Okay. So I am accessing this entire dependency bcrypt.js using the variable inside which I have stored this, that is bcrypt. And then in order to hash the password, I am going to use the hash function. And inside the hash function, I will pass the password variable so that it gets hashed whenever we store the password in our database. And then after the password, I am writing a all right. So here, one more thing that I have to do is I will create a variable that is const salt is equal to, here I will provide await bcrypt dot gensalt, and then I will provide 10. So why do we do this? Say for example, like if you provide your name only in the password, like if Jyoti is logging into a website and Jyoti is providing a password Jyoti, got it? And say for example, Jyoti is logging in Instagram and she is setting the password as Instagram only. So over there, do you people ever get that the password is very weak?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So why have we provided with that? We are provided because whenever we are hashing the password will get transformed into a hash code, right? So what happens is, whenever the website gets hacked, over there, the rainbow table attack is performed. And now what is this rainbow table attack? So whenever we store the very weak password, the attackers or the hackers usually have some of the hash codes of all the weak passwords, right? And then they can simply compare the hash code and they can find the related password to that hash code. This is why we add salt value with the password, and making the, if the salt value changes at that moment, the password is also gets changed. That is why along with the hashing of the password, we also provide the salt value. Got my point?
Can you explain?
Or are there any
again?
doubt? Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we have till now hashed the password. And now how to store that data? So the data has already been stored, and then, no, the data has not been stored yet. So in order to store the data in the database, we have to write const, and then we will create user as the variable. And then I will provide await. After that, I will provide user dot create. So we used this create method where? While posting, right? While making a post request. So here, I will save the data using name will be as it is. Email is also going to be as it is. But in order to store the password, I will assign the value hashed to password, so that whenever the user enters his password, it first gets turned into the hashed password and then it gets stored inside the database. Got it till this much?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's see. Okay, raise your hands who have understood this part. What about rest of the others? You people didn't get it. Just wherever you do not understand any line over there, just stop me and ask me, ma'am, why is it so? All right, I assume that all of you have got the point. All right. And now what is, like, we have done a lot of things. We have sent the request, the password has also been hashed, and then it got also stored in the database. What is the next thing that we have to do? Since the user is sending the request to the server, the important thing the server has to do is to respond back to the user. So in order to respond back, we have to write res.status 201 with a JSON message, and the message will say user registered successfully. And along with the message, it will also provide the data of the user. All right. And then till now, the user has registered himself. Now come to the login part. Function to login.
Ma'am,
Here I will write, yeah,
what is the meaning of the res dot status?
Jyoti, where were you when I was teaching the crude operations?
Sorry, ma'am.
Were you there in the class when I was teaching the crude operations?
I am in the class.
Okay, so does anyone has the answer about the question that Jyoti has asked? No one? Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
Ashish.
That is response.
User to
Yeah.
JSON response
And
to
who
the
is
client.
responding? Yeah.
Uh,
So I have told this in the crude operations class, right? That is how you people know.
Ma'am, that res status sets the HTTP code status for the response.
Exactly. And I guess Jyoti was also there when I was teaching crude operations.
Yes, ma'am.
Just keep this thing in mind that the thing I have already told, you can ask me, but I will take it as you people are not learning whatever thing I am explaining to you people. Okay, no issues. All right. And if any error occurs over here, then that error will be handled using the catch block. So if any error occurs, then it will respond with a status code of 500. And as far as I remember, I have already taught you people about the status code, if I'm not wrong. Did I taught you?
Yes,
Did I
ma'am.
teach you people?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So it will provide the error message. All right, now coming on to the login part. So we have to do it in the same way. It is exports dot login. So this one is also an asynchronous function. Request comma response. All right, so here I will again initialize the try catch block. Now tell me this time, which data do we provide while logging in?
Email.
Email.
Password.
Email and password.
Oh, okay. So seeing the register function, just guess the first line that I have to write in the try catch block.
Const email
The
and
request
password.
email and password.
Email and password
Email
equals
request.
request dot body.
Request body
Great.
and then cost existing. Await.
Already.
All right. The first line is going to be email, comma password. Yeah, password is equal to request dot body. Great. After that, what we will do? const user is equal to await user dot find one. So why is it again using the find one function? Can anyone explain or anyone guess?
Ma'am,
Init.
User,
it is used for because ma'am, it is
user
used
not
because
found is
when we not
available.
found when we need to
Email
uh,
is not available.
Hold
Check
on,
if
Jyoti.
user exit.
Hold on.
find
Jyoti.
the user is exist or not.
Hold on. So now again, it will check if the email provided by the user is existing in the database. And why is it checking if the email is already existing in the database? Because, say for example, you are entering into a home, right? And that home has security guards. So this, what am I doing? I am providing the knowledge to the security guard about the members of that home. That a father, a mother with their child stay inside the home. So whenever someone else asks the security guard to let them in inside the home, so then what will the security guard do? He will check and compare if that member is present in the list that I have provided to that security guard. And if that member is not there in the list, then the security guard will not allow them inside the home. Isn't it? Same is applied over here as well. What is happening? So whenever the user is providing his email, then it is checking whether the email is is present inside the database. And if it is not present, then it returns the user with a message that in order to log in, you have to register yourself at first in the website, which is why it is checking whether the email is present in the database. After checking, what happens? If not user, which means if the email is not existing, then what will it do? It will return a response with a status code 400 with a JSON message. And here it will provide invalid credentials because the data provided by the user is invalid and the member is not present in the database. And if it matches, then we will create one more variable, that is const match is equal to await. And here what he will do, he will compare it using bcrypt dot compare method. And then what will it compare? It will compare the password which is provided by the user to that password which is already existing inside the database. So for that, it will take the password which is already existing in the database, and then it will also take the user dot password which the user is entering while logging in. So these are the couple of parameters that we have to pass inside the compare method. And then one more condition arises. If the password match or does not match. And if the password does not match, then what it will do? It will again do the same thing.
Return the error.
Yeah. And if the password is same, then he will generate a token, as I have already told you in the previous class. Const token. And how is the token generated? The token, in order to generate a token, we need a library, that is the JSON Web Token library. And how can I use this library? Using the variable name in which I have stored this dependency, that is JWT. And over here, using the JWT dot, and in order to generate the token, we need a sign function. So what are the parameters that I have to place over here? So the first parameter is going to be the ID, and that will take the user dot underscore ID as the first parameter. Now, what else do we require? We need the JWT secret key. And where is that? that JWT secret key is stored inside our .env file. So whenever we require some value of those variables stored in the .env file, we just have to write process.env.jwt secret. Got it? After that, one more thing that happens while creating the token is the token usually gets expired. Why? Because the time of providing the password is limited, which is why the token also gets expired. So in order to provide the expiration time of the token, we need a keyword, and name of the keyword is expires in. And I want the token to expire in 1 hour. So here I will display expires in 1 hour. Got my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Alright. So after the token gets generated, the entire thing that will be provided to the user as the response is in the JSON format, the user will get a message login successful. And then a token will also be provided to the user that got generated. And if any error occurs over here, then it will respond with a status code is 500 dot JSON message. So in the message, it will provide us whichever error has occurred. Do I need to export these functions, that is register and login?
No, ma'am. Already export keyword are.
Good, great. So we have already written the logic for register and keyword. Now I will save this. After the controller, what thing that I have to provide? Okay. In the CRUD operations, after writing the get method, what was the very first parameter I used to provide?
Endpoint.
Exactly. We now need the endpoint to access these functions. So in order to create the endpoints, we will go to our auth_route.js. Here, the endpoints are known as routes. Got my point? So in order to create the routes, we need to import the express dependency. Why? Can anyone tell me? All right. So I haven't informed you about this. We need a router middleware of the express library. For that purpose, we need this express imported in this file. Require express. And what else do we require? We require const router is equal to, as I have told, we need the router middleware of express in order to create the routes for the functions that we have just written. After that, what else do we require? We need the functions themselves, right? So where are the functions present? Inside the auth_controller.js. So we will import them using const. Here I will write register, inside which I will store the register function, and login variable, inside which I will store the login function. And here I will write require, and then I will provide the path, controller, and then auth controller. Here I will provide router. So which kind of request we are making over here? Which HTTP request?
Get.
Get.
Are we reading the data or are we providing the data?
Ma'am, providing the
Provide-
data.
Right. So in order to provide the data, what method do we use?
Post method.
Post.
Good. So we will use the post method. And the endpoint I will provide to the register function is register. And then when the user will access this register endpoint, then which function will get executed? The function register will get executed. which I have stored it inside the register variable and whose name I am writing over here. Similarly, I will create a router using the post method for login. On recharge.
Login.
All right. So here the endpoint for login is login itself, and then the login function. And then in order to export it, I will write module dot exports is equal to router. And then I will save it. So we are done with our main logic, the database schema, the auth routes. Now what we have to do, we have to go to our server.js. So in order to store any data in the MongoDB, what is the most important thing that we have to do? After creating the schema, like before creating the schema, what do we have to do?
I think backend server.
Yeah, we have to create a server, that's okay.
Three.
Just guess, think about it.
I think backend server, man.
Did we connect the Mongoose database to the Node.js?
Yes, ma'am.
Routing.
Yes, ma'am.
Where
Ma'am,
did we connect the Mongoose to the
connecting
Node.js? So in order to provide the data inside the database, we have to connect it to the Node.js. That is why we have provided the Mongo URI, right? So here in the server.js, I will import express is equal to require express. And then I will provide const mongoose is equal to require mongoose. And then I will take. All right. So where are the Mongo URI and Google secret key stored? In the .env file. So one more thing that we have to do over here is we need to import the .env file as well. So here I will write require .env, and in order to access the values, we need one more method, that is the config method.
Config.
Please switch your mics off. Let others learn as well. So this is the method that we need to access the variables present in the .env file, and yeah, that was the method, and this is the keyword, that is process.env.jwt. So just keep this thing in mind. Method is different, keyword is different. So we need two things to access the data present in the .env file. So whenever we require that variable, we have to write process.env.jwt secret, and in the server.js, we have to mention the method by importing the .env file. After that, I will have to create a variable, that is const app is equal to, I will assign the express dependency to this variable. Okay. And then one more thing that I have to do over here is I have to import the routes that I have created, that is the auth routes. So here I will write const and then auth routes, which is the variable, is equal to, using the require method, I will provide the date, like the path inside the route folder, the auth routes file. All right. So by now we have imported all the things that we require. And here we need to connect the database. Connecting the database. Right? So I will write mongoose dot connect. And here I will pass the Mongo URI. So tell me how to write it. The Mongo URI is present in .env file. What should I write?
process.ini.mongo
Great. Process dot env dot mongo URI. And if it gets connected, then it will provide us a message. Console dot log MongoDB connected. And if any error occurs, that will be handled by the catch. And here error will provide console dot log the error message. That's it. So now we have connected the database. After that, we also have to tell me what do we have to write to receive the data in a JSON format.
Middleware.
Okay.
Express.json middleware.
Okay. So we have to write app.use. Inside that, we will write express.json. Okay. And then I will provide the route to this auth routes. So I will write app.use. Here I will provide \auth. And then if the user provides the \auth in the URL, then this auth route will get executed. And then I will also provide the port number in the .env file. So the port number in which I want to run my server is 8866. I will save this. And here, in order to access the port number, what should I write?
process.ini.port.
Process.env.port. And then finally, I will write listen. Here, the first parameter will be port.
Port.
And then
I wrote
so host. And then the port number. That's it. And then we will save this. So here, in order to run the file, I will write node server.js. Okay. So this is saying that it is injecting 3 environment variables in the from the .env file. Let's go to the client. Here I will provide the URL http localhost. What was the port number?
8866.
8866, right? And then what was the API endpoint to access the auth routes? Auth only, right?
Auth.
And now I want to register. I have to make the post request. And I will go to the body. Here I will provide the data. First, I will provide the name. For example, Alaric. And then the email. Alaric @gmail.com. And the password I will provide this. Here the password is going to be Alaric 123. Right? Okay. Via comma. All right. Now I will send the data. See the message, user registered successfully. Can you see the password?
No, ma'am.
This part. This is the password.
Yes, ma'am. But it is
Why is it in this form?
because we using
Yeah,
hashing.
using
Convert. Hashing
decrypting.
convert, ma'am. Decrypt.
Ma'am, hashing converted in the ciphertext format. That's
10.
So this is what we exactly mean by encrypting a password. And can you people see this underscore ID? This one.
yes, ma'am.
So where are we using it? We have just used it.
Expiry.
Exactly. Where we were you writing the function
Just
to
an
generate
use
the token. This part,
token. Yes.
right? So while generating the token, it is also taking the ID which got generated when we were registering the user. All right.
Ma'am, it is
So,
auto-generated
yeah.
ID. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So here, now what I want to log in into the website. So replacing the register with login in the URL, and I will remove the name from here. And this time I only need the email and password to log in the website. And now I will make the post request. See the message, login successful, and here is the token. This entire thing is the token. Got my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's it for this class. And in the next class, what I have told you people to be ready with?
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah, Jyoti.
Ma'am, when you create the token, can you
Yeah.
please open this page?
Okay. Yeah.
Ma'am, when we create, then sorry, .env files.
Okay.
Where you discuss about JSON web token.
That file.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me see. Do you want to ask about the BRF?
Ma'am, where you
prefix
write
of
some
the token?
line, I didn't get that line, so I want to ask about that.
Okay. Good.
Ma'am, basically my question is that those you line written that time, we are using every time like this method, or we can change it.
Which method?
Ma'am, exactly I can't remind this. So
I'll just let me see if it's existing. Okay, this one. Yeah. Tell me.
Ma'am, please scroll down. Up. Down.
Which line? Which part?
No, ma'am, it's not that high. No, ma'am,
It's the
it's not
exact file
that.
which. Okay, Jyoti, do one thing. Just in whichever line you have the doubt, just write it down somewhere, and in the next class you can ask me.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, I can like do it like I can see it class once more when you send the recording class.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Any further doubts?
No.
All right. Now you people can leave the meeting. If people do not have any doubt. And be ready with your Google Client ID and Google Client secret key in the next class. And in the next class, I will teach you how to provide the Google authentication. Right?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, I'm asking
Yeah.
question, ma'am, in comment section.
Yeah, I didn't get your question, Shivanathan. Can you please explain what do you want to ask?
Ma'am, in some login page, we valid give the email ID, but we check the email ID is valid or not. Ma'am. But they
Yeah.
know our all email IDs are how they verify our email ID is valid or not.
Like, are you asking about the @Gmail? Like, if it is @ is present in the email ID, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we will also learn about it in the next class. Just keep one thing in mind that is done by with the help of this. Okay. Yeah. So whenever we are taking the data from the user about the email ID, we have to mention some more things inside this in the schema in order to validate whether the email ID is consisting the @ and each and everything that you are saying is used in order to validate the email ID. Got my point?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.